Hi, and welcome to episode 4 of Diary of a Wayshower. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't subscribed already, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, which has Diary of a Wayshower on, and also I've got a separate YouTube channel which is called Diary of a Wayshower. So there's two channels, but if you could subscribe to either one, I would really appreciate it, just so I can get my voice out and message out to as many star seeds as I can, because that's who I'm predominantly trying to reach, and the light workers, star seeds, way showers, whatever really people sort of tend to class themselves as. Not that we like to own labels, do we? But I just want to get my message out, and it's time for me to speak up. It's time for me to reveal my truth. It's time for me to find my authentic voice, because it's been drowned and suppressed for so many years. And in fact, I've had throat problems for a number of years, a lot better recently, but very much dating back to the silence and the suppression of my voice as a child. And in fact, I'll give you a little fact that my voice box was actually targeted as a child in the abuse. So they actually damaged my voice box, and that's been confirmed. So that I was actually quite a good singer. I had a very songstress type voice for delivering the chords and delivering my chords through my voice and my singing voice, which many, well, all sisters of the cosmic rose, all divine feminine sisters actually have got a very beautiful voice, and that has been damaged and targeted this lifetime. And my voice can get gravelly at times. It did used to get a lot more gravelly, as we'll say, or deeper in my younger years, and it's got better recently. In fact, someone said to me, was it a year ago, when I went through a huge transformation with what happened, that my voice had changed. They could tell that my voice had softened, and there was more of the divine feminine coming through my voice. So I know I've been told that before, that all of us deliver our light codes and light through our voices and our eyes. Our eyes are very big portals that can deliver huge emanations of light, including the voice. So yeah, my voice was targeted, and that's been one heartbreak of mine, really. Is I've dreamt over and over again that I was singing, and I was singing to a huge crowd, and that I was singing the the sounds of the universe. I was singing the language of light. I was singing different versions of the light, from, I don't know, from Lemuria, and from the star sort of constellations, and yeah, I've dreamt it but never managed to do it, and I've still got a problem with my voice in singing. At a lower tone, I'm much better, and I can sing and hold a note on a lower tone, but if I try and get higher, it breaks up. My voice breaks up, and as I say, I have asked the questions about that, and it is about the fact that my voice was damaged, and I am actively working on repairing, on a light body level, my voice and my voice box. And so there you go. So that's just something I thought I'd mention or reveal. So yeah, the suppression of the divine feminine on a collective level, we know, and speaking up for what we know, what wisdom we hold, what ancestral history and lineage that we come from, and the true, and we have the true history of the earth and Gaia, and actually this whole universe, and all of the universes beyond. We have all of the knowledge, we have all of the original history, because it's been so changed and shaped and altered by the agenda that is on this planet right now to, hoodwink humanity and to micromanage humanity and to control humanity and to brainwash them and mind control them. So we have our voices, and our voices are very important. Everybody's voice on the planet is important. Of course it is. And we all have to speak up. If we don't speak up, nothing is ever going to change. We all have to speak up in our own individual ways. Whether you speak up within your own household because you're being suppressed by your husband or partner, or there could be a lovely divine masculine listening to this, and I'm saying, is your female partner suppressing you, stopping you from speaking your truth, or not allowing you to share your wisdom and your knowledge? It works both ways. Or your parents shutting you down and telling you to conform and to not make a fuss? Or your children saying that to you? Or your friends saying that to you? Or your work colleagues saying that to you? We've got to all look at this now, because we're coming into a crucial time. Between 2025 and 2028, we are in an acceleration corridor, and we are in for a hell of a roller coaster ride, in the fact that more and more of the 3D world will break down, and we have to make sure that we're riding the crest of the wave. We do not want to be in the water when the tsunami hits us. And I'm just saying that from I'm giving you a sort of symbology of what the consciousness and the awakened consciousness will feel like. And everything is energy. So people's consciousness is energy, and that reflects in what is going on the planet. And look what happened before with the great floods of Atlantis and Lemuria, where I think it's symbolic of the consciousness and what happens to it. And everything is related to the cosmic ocean and the cosmic waters of the divine feminine and the galactic cosmic divine feminine. So the waters represent consciousness, and the ripples that we make amongst the consciousness by what we do, what we say, how we act, how we operate on a daily basis affects the consciousness of the planet. And as starseeds, we are here to anchor and to anchor divine intervention. That's something that has been coming in very strong to me for the last few weeks and months, is that we are divine intervention in embodiment form. We're boots on the ground. We are human. We are God man or God woman, woman, on the planet. We are doing the work. And Source sent us to here to do that work. Source is not going to turn up, right, and say, I'm going to sort all this out. We are Source. So we are the ones that will sort this out. And I think that's where the New Age movement tells us that it's all outside of ourselves, and that there is a Messiah coming, or, the Pleiadians are coming down in spaceships, or, you know what I'm saying, don't you? And that is not correct and not true. We are the solution. We are the ones we're waiting for. We are the ones we're waiting for. We are the ones that will provide the solutions for humanity when we step into our true power. And that's incredibly hard. That's incredibly hard when we're surrounded by people that are conforming. We're surrounded by people that are doing the 9-to-5 jobs, that are thinking that that's the way they have to live. And any path of initiation requires us to sacrifice and to actually not sacrifice, but to actually like put our faith on the line and to actually say, you know what, I can't live like this anymore. I've got to live my truth. I've got to be authentic. And we all think we're living authentic lives. Absolutely. I get that. And I thought I was living an authentic life up to last year. And, you know, if you don't know what happened to me last year, go and look at episode 1 and it will tell you some story of what happened to me. And I thought I was living an authentic life. I was trying to live as a divine being. I was being true and authentic. I was trying to deliver my mission work and soul purpose work. I had given up my career and big pensions, you know, years ago to come and do this work and have faith that the divine would hold me as I did this work. And then everything, you know, went, excuse my language, tits up. And I was, you know, had to be stripped away from the last realms of conformity to be able to rise up into my own authentic self. And that is so liberating. And I do feel so much more liberated that I can speak my truth now and I can live my authentic self. And I don't want to conform. I don't want to pay income tax. I don't want to conform to the electoral roll. I don't want to conform to living in the confines of the boxes of the, you know, credit stuff and all of that, the money misery magic and all of that stuff that is running on this planet. I don't want to conform to that. I'm beyond that. I'm way beyond that. We all are. And I don't want to conform to that. And I won't conform to that. And, you know, it's very hard if you've got a partner who wants to conform, who wants to do all those things and cannot understand why you are wanting to do all that. So, you know, there is sort of all of these things that we're challenged by, aren't we, with our families. But you know what? We've got to be authentic. This is where our higher mission activates, when we're truly authentic, when we don't care a damn about anybody else and what they think about us, and that we are willing to lead and be that way shower. Way showing is about being different. Way showing is about being authentic. Way showing is about living your best life in what you believe to be true, what you feel, your authentic inner self, how it wants you to live. Whether you want to live as a gay person, if you want to live in any relationship, if how you want to live with purple hair, living on a farm with lots of pigs. I mean, whatever it is, it's whatever your authenticity draws you and guides you to do. And that is so liberating. And those that are walking that path, I'm sure will agree with me that you feel so free and you feel so empowered by not having to answer to anything or anyone. And that's where I feel that starseeds have got stuck in like forms of conformity and boxes, and they are, you know, you're trying to fit in because you want to be liked. Don't we all want to be liked? Don't we all want to be like, oh, you know, oh, you're a lovely person and blah, blah, blah. They might not believe in what you do, but they like you. But the problem with that is we do have to get on with others. We have to get on with our mum and dads and our brothers and sisters. And even our children might have a different view to what the world should be than you. And that is the whole tests and paths of initiation. And that is not about the high priestess and priestess and high priest initiation. It's not about that. It's about what your own soul requires of you to break free, to come out of the programming that you were put into when you were born, right? So look at me, I'm 60 in September, and just getting to that stage now where I have no partner, my family live apart from me, further away, and I have no, parents left, no brothers or sisters. I've got a small circle of friends, very small, that are in alignment with my truth and vibration, and that's it. And I'm okay with that, and I'm able to be true and authentic and feel true and authentic, and your body then responds to your truth and authenticity. Don't we think that when we're living a lie, when we're conforming to someone or something, our body will respond. It responds to in truth. I think I talked about this in episode 2 as well, and I came across it in a video on YouTube recently where someone was talking about how your body responds to inauthenticity. And it was fascinating to listen to her talk about how your body will start to complain and will start to give you pain and stiffness and soreness and certain things coming up when you are not living your truth, when you're not living in your authentic self and what you truly believe in. And to be honest, I'm going to be honest now, okay? Because I like to be honest. At times, I can find it very draining and tiring to talk to people that are not awake. That's the honest truth. I'm being honest, okay? I'm just speaking my truth. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm not judging them. I'm not, there's nothing, I'm not judging them anyway. I'm just saying it can be very draining because you're talking to them from a level of their consciousness. You are, they're talking about certain things and you are thinking, yeah, but what about this? Or, you could, but you've got to like gauge what you say, because you're just going to, like, if you started talking to them from the level that you understand it to be and consciousness, you just blow them away. They just would look at you like, are you daft? Like, what do you mean? Because they just wouldn't get it, because they can't see it from the perception and filter that they're seeing the world through right now. And that's okay. That's where they are supposed to be. But it can be very draining. So you can imagine if you surround yourself with people that are not of your vibration and consciousness, that are not speaking from your level of consciousness, it can be very draining after an amount of time. So for me now, being on my own, but being, when I am with people, normally I am with like-minded consciousness people. And occasionally, meeting others or meet a neighbour or whatever and have a chat. That's fine and it's lovely and da da da. But, it's nice to speak to people that are on your wavelength and that get what you're saying and see what you're seeing in the world. Don't you feel better? Just think about that. When you hang around with people that believe what you believe, or, the stand in the park movement where people would go to the park on a Sunday morning during the, what was going on 2020 plus, and would just commune and talk to each other and could see what was happening and would not conform. And they were bolstering each other up. They were saying, stand firm, be courageous, be brave, let's not give in, we're okay, we're stronger together. That's a lovely thing. So that's what I'm saying. If you're feeling isolated right now, or you feel that you're not understood, or that you are feeling like you're having to conform all the time, ask for solutions, break out of that, change your routine, look for other ways that you can meet up with like-minded people, because we're going to need this more and more in the coming years, I can assure you, because the collective will not understand what's going on right now, and it's going to get even more intense as we go on. So we need to be able to hang around together in groups of like-minded people. And that is so important and is so needed. And also for us not to be afraid of retribution of what we speak about. And we know what's going on in the UK right now, that we're getting our free speech limited. There's consequences for that, but we cannot let that actually stop us. We cannot let that shut us down. We can't. That's just not right. So I think that's a very important thing we need to think about and consider. And I am finding my voice even more and more now. And the things that have happened to me and what's happened, and more and more I will start to speak about that and feel safe, to be honest, to speak about it. And I say it's hard to find your voice. It's very hard to find your voice. And I've had repercussions at times in the past where I've tried to speak out, but that was because I was hooked up quite a lot, and there was energetic consequences for me doing that. It's a lot easier nowadays standing in that divine sovereign being power and light, and knowing that there is divine protection around me to be able to do my mission and deliver my mission, and to do what I need to do to help as many as I can whilst I'm still on this planet and still in this incarnation. I've come across and come up against all sorts of things. Like I've done work in the White House in America, and been challenged by Hillary Clinton in light body form. That was quite a scene. I've been working with clients from, say, Canada a number of years ago, where I was energetically attacked through my Zoom meeting by someone who started to talk about Hillary Clinton, and suddenly I had a huge energetic attack, and I was very much overlighted and protected as that went on. In fact, my camera went off as soon as it happened, because the attack evidently was coming through, very interesting, probably the eyes of the person that was sat in front of me, and that was blocked off as the camera went off, and I was able to regroup and ask the question upstairs as, do I carry on with this or stop this immediately? And I was told to carry on. I've had run-ins with major groups of shall I say beings that are trying to control the planet. So I've had my own things happen, and that was for starting to do the work of trying to assist other souls that have been satanically ritually abused or MK ultra'd or monarched, and in fact I got a lot of attacks as I started to do that. In fact, there's one particular one that happened last year, I'll tell you about it, which was February 2024, and I went to the Los Angeles Conscious Expo in Los Angeles, and my I was meeting up with some relatives as well, and so I went there, and a student of mine who trained with me in Quantum Bridge, who lives in America, was guided to come and fly over to meet me, to assist me, because I had I had a exhibition stand, and I was just trying it out really. I just wanted, what's it like here? How they're gonna sort of react to a UK person, over here. And it was interesting that I was at my stand talking to someone else, and this person that I'd trained was talking to another girl that had walked up to her, and and this girl was talking to her and saying, "Oh, I work with survivors of satanic ritual abuse, and I'd like to talk to Lynn." So my student was sort of like, "Oh, yes, you can talk to her in a minute," blah blah blah. And at the same time, I had a person backing onto me, a stand behind me, that was complaining all the time, and she was some sort of doctor of, I don't know. It was facial surgery, so it wasn't anything spiritual. Shall we put it that way? It wasn't anything spiritual, right? So she was sat behind me and was complaining about the space they'd given her. Now, I had paid for 2 chairs extra to go onto my tables so people could sit down and just chat to me at any time. So I paid for 2 extra chairs as well as 2 chairs behind and 2 chairs in front. And there was an empty table next to us that had 2 chairs, and people had not turned up. And people had taken those chairs away, which is a bit naughty, really, but they had. And so she starts to complain and complains to management that I've taken the chairs from that table. Well, I hadn't. I paid for my chairs and booked them with the organisers, and they delivered them to me the day before. So, of course, what was really interesting, folks, was as she starts kicking up and brings management over to talk to me about the 2 chairs that I've got on my table that she thinks I've stolen, but I haven't. So evidently there's energies running through her right then. Okay, so let's just think about that. The collective, there's frequencies running or trying to work through her to attack me in what I'm doing right there. And then we have that lady talking to my student, saying that she works with satanically ritually abused people, and she'd like to talk to me. And as soon as she walked up to me and was introduced to me, and I looked at her, I knew immediately she was a victim of satanic ritual abuse. I could feel it immediately, like, boom. She was saying, "No, I haven't been satanically ritually abused. I just work with people that have." And I knew immediately she had been. And then suddenly an energy frequency attack came through her to me. And then we had the woman who was complaining about the 2 chairs that she thought I'd stolen, brought management over at the same time. So I had management walking straight up to me saying, "Oh, it's been, they've said that you've taken 2 chairs." And then I've got this woman attacking me. So literally, my shields were up anyway, but I just had to like go upstairs like, "Hey, come on, shields up, like, let's reverberate that, let's clear this." And immediately I said to, management, "I paid for those 2 chairs, go and check right now." They walked away, so I got rid of that. And then I just like boxed her in, really, into a crystalline pyramid. I put a crystalline pyramid around her and stopped it immediately. And then just like got rid of her very quick. And look at that. You see, that's some of the ways that they will come and try and like have a go at you because you're doing the work they don't want you to do. They didn't want me in LA. They did not want me talking to the New Age crowd. They didn't want me talking to them and saying, or maybe trying to sort of, work with them or interact with them, especially with my healing system. And just, yeah, it was just like bizarre, really. But that's what happened. And so I was being hit from both fronts, both at once. But that's common actually in many of us that are taking on these roles to be a bit of a warrior or to be the big wayshower of leading with a new healing system or leading with a new way of doing something, or bringing truth that they don't want you to deliver. Whatever it is, there's many wayshowers in the world, isn't there? But I just wanted to explain that there's so many different experiences I've had, and as I say, working on a planetary level, working for the councils of light, the intergalactic star councils, because my I am presence, avatar self and Rishi self sits on the intergalactic star council and actually the karmic board. So we have a say in that, what's going on. And of course, as I was targeted as a baby. So, they don't want you to power up. They don't want you to do your work. But are we brave enough to do this, folks? Are you brave enough to do this? Are you brave enough to power up? Because when you're powered up in your avatar self, they can't touch you. And they are more frightened of you than the other way around, right? They're more likely to run the other way than anything. Yeah, and that's why I had no choice, did I? Really, if you think about it, I had no choice. I had to power up. Was I going to be downtrodden and attacked, energetically attacked over and over again, and put in gilded cages over and over again? I had nothing to lose. They tried to kill me anyway, so why wouldn't I want to just go for full whack? And that's my philosophy and my belief and my truth and authenticity, that I will go for it full whack, because what's the point of not going full whack? Because to be honest, folks, it's much safer to actually go into your full avatar embodiment and go for it and be diligent and to be conscientious and to do the work required and to be brave and have resilience to go and do the work. And we all do it in our own time. We've all got when we're ready. You can't push someone into doing something when they're not ready, including myself. You have to be ready to do it. And when you're ready to do it, you're up for it and then you do it. So anybody out there who's struggling or feels they can't step into your true power, you can do this. You can do this. And when you're ready to do it, you'll know you're ready to do it, because you'll have that inner courage and fortitude to push forwards and to break free. And we all deserve our sovereignty. We all deserve to be those beacons of light that we came here to be, and to live a great life, and to live a life of love and community. And and I do believe communities are our future. They are what we are all about. And I can't wait to find my community. I can't wait to create one, maybe with others, where we live harmoniously within a certain area, and we're able to rely on each other and to build new earth together. And that's something I'm very much looking forwards to. And hopefully I've got a lot more years left to be able to do that. But there is so much going on in the world with the United States right now and Trump. And whatever people think about Trump, take the politics out of it and come up onto a higher platform. And then look down at the whole playground that is going on. And then look at what needs to happen for America to fall, to come back up. And there has been such an infiltration in America of the negative alien agenda directly into the presidency of the United States of America. The CIA, the NCIS, LAPD, New York PD, all of the different agencies. I'm just talking about police departments though, but all of the other agencies, CIA, that exist in the United States of America. Let's just talk about that, yeah. There are so many that have been infiltrated with a government agenda behind it. So the whole thing is fixed and flawed. So what do you do when the whole thing is fixed and flawed, and you cannot trust any US senator or congressman, right, in that blueprint, what do? Well, the divine decides that it's going to reenact the US Constitution, which is a divine blueprint of the law of one. I'll talk about this more in future episodes because I've got lots of information about the founding fathers and what happened. There is lots of things that happened on the Pilgrim voyage that people don't know about, hidden history. And the US Constitution is based on the law of one. So the US Constitution has been violated, right? And sort of desecrated. And that is not allowed. The divine will not allow that. So the wrecking ball has to come in. And the wrecking ball comes in to knock down all of the organisations, to knock down all of the blueprints, all of the flawed stuff, so that things can be revealed for what they truly are, and to flush out all of this stuff. Now, you can say what you want about him, right? But you're going to get more of the wrecking ball effect with him than you would with Biden or any other Democrat that came in after that. Now, I'm not saying he's playing for the light, and I'm not saying he's playing for the dark, but I think he's playing both sides, and the divine plan is playing out. I was told before the elections took place last November that he would be the last president of the United States. Now, that could symbolically mean under the corporation of the United States, or technically, or even like spiritually, like that is the last form of the US presidency that will take place under the flawed Constitution of the United States that has been desecrated and altered. That doesn't mean that a new one cannot be issued. It has been. In fact, it has been. The divine blueprint of the US Constitution was delivered last year in October 2024 to the Statue of Liberty, which is a major stargate for the United States of America. So the divine has got this. Don't panic about, like, if you're American and you feel like your country's just going like to the dogs or whatever, yeah, there is a divine plan unfolding right now, and it is in place, and whatever he does, he will flush out the stuff. Now, that has to be seen one way or another. The Democrats were never going to do that, and I'm not talking about being a Democrat or a Republican. It doesn't matter. Move that away. It's more about, like, you know, like you have someone like, I don't know whether, is Trump a clone? I don't know. Was Biden a clone? Probably. Could Trump be a clone? Possibly. Who knows? But I do have, and I do dream about him ever so often, and I'm normally remote viewing in my sleep, and I remote view in my sleep when the councils want me to see certain things, and definitely he's on a mission, and he might not even know himself why he's doing it, right? But he's being guided. I do believe he's being guided, and whatever is happening in the United States right now is what should be happening to flush out the darkness, to flush out the the overshadowing of the negative alien agenda there, and to actually bring them down to their knees so that then they can flush out all of the darkness. And that will have an effect on the United Kingdom as well, because there is a prophecy that dates back to the Tudor times, which says that the rise of America will be the downfall of the United Kingdom. Now, that is more about the fact that as America recalibrates and shakes off the darkness and lifts all of that out, then you will have an impact on the United Kingdom, where the United Kingdom will lose control of America, because it never lost control of America. We know that. It's still managing America now. And that connection then will be disconnected. And then the United Kingdom will have to answer for its darkness and its overshadowments and whatever is going on in the shadow government in the United Kingdom. And that's how we change. That's how we bring the new earth. We're safe. We have to have deep faith here and listen to our hearts and our souls. We're in the right place at the right time, and we have to be in our truth and authenticity. That's vital for the coming years. And so that's something will keep sharing for years to come, that we need to be in our truth and authenticity to be able to navigate this 3-4 year period, which is going to be very intense, but very transformational in a long term for the earth and for our children and our grandchildren and our great grandchildren. So thank you so much for listening. I've got so many different stories. I've got to write a book about this as well. God, I could write 3 books. But I hope that you found that interesting. And if there's any questions, you can always leave me a question underneath the video or the recording, and I'm very happy to answer it. And thank you so much for listening, and keep going. Keep going, but find your authentic self. Speak up. There is nothing to fear. Okay, when we stand in the light of the divine, and we stand in the light of our own true divine soul sovereignty, and we speak up and we be heard, and we lead others to the light. We lead others to their freedom and soul sovereignty. So I'm sending you all my love. Thank you for listening. Take care, and I'll catch up with you soon. Okay, bye.